A very good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Just give me one quick second. Going to start up some stuff here. If you, as usual, if you have any questions, just put them in the YouTube channel and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. First of all, we are just going to take a quick look at Bitcoin. I've covered Bitcoin quite a lot lately, actually, and so I don't want to spend too much time on Bitcoin today. We are still in the same wedge. As I said earlier, we finished the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse wave. And right now, what's actually happening is the same thing. We are in a descending wedge. And as you can see, we just finished the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse wave. Keep in mind, this might go a little bit lower. This might go here or here. I don't know. But to be honest, I expect this was pretty much it for now. And I think we are finishing the wedge. So we have room to go up. And we do have to go up. And the reason is, let me just remove this. Actually, no, I'm not going to remove this. I'm going to take my ABC correctional wave tool. This is 1A, B. See, I have to adjust this a little bit. There we go, ABC. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correctional wave, descending wedge. Let me just draw this descending wedge out. There you go. This was the descending wedge. We broke out pretty hard. This was the A wave that we just started. Currently, we are forming the B wave. It might go to like 8,200, something like that. Doesn't matter. And then we are going for C. So if we go to the daily, there is something important going on here. The 50 EMA is about to cross with the 200 EMA. This can still absolutely be avoided. And this can be avoided if we start the creation of wave C today or tomorrow, something like that, doesn't really matter. And we do have to do it sooner rather than later. The C wave will take us above the 50 and 200 EMA, and then we should be safe for now. For the ones wondering, what is this? This is the 200-day moving average. This is the 50-day moving average. If you don't know what it is, investopedia.com, very easy. It's just the average of the past 50 days. And if those two cross, that is called a death cross, which is bad, as you can hear by the name. You know, the word death is in it, which is in itself a bad word, and then a cross. So so I think we are going to like 10,115, something like that. And then we should be completing the wedge. This is a very, very um, important time to come. So over the course of the next week and maybe the week after, we are going to finish the wedge. And the breakout direction will, in essence, very much tell us what the coming year is going to be like. If we break above the wedge, we should all be good and we should be clear for 35,000 Bitcoin. However, if we break below the wedge, if we go this way, then I expect another 365 days of bear market, which you know, is something that I wouldn't really like. In fact, this would absolutely suck. And if that happens, this means that we will be mostly shorting stuff the coming year. And I would prefer an alt party, obviously. This would be much better, much more fun. So let us hope that we can actually break out of this descending wedge soon, go to 10K, and then possibly break the wedge. So that's it for Bitcoin. Do we have any questions for Bitcoin? Yeah, obviously, if we break below, then there will be a retest as always, and the retest itself is always the best point to enter. You know, when something breaks out, I never just buy immediately. I wait for it to come back down to the 618 fib level, and then you buy. But anyway, let's see. No questions for Bitcoin? Targets. Yeah, sure. I've got some targets. Hold on. Targets if we break below the wedge. Now, if we break below the wedge, my targets will be as follows. And I just have to open a new trading view. I don't want to mess with this chart. This chart is perfectly set up. So we are going to Bitfinex chart. This is Bitstamp. I like to chart Bitstamp. But let's just go to Bitfinex for a minute and let's see what the targets are. No, thank you. There we go. 1 day. This can be deleted. For the targets, we are going to remove the log scale, because obviously if we break down, log wouldn't be in place anymore. And we are going to draw a simple support. There we go. Going to make this green. There. So the targets, if we break down, would be 4,300. But please do not be surprised if we drop to 3,000, because obviously if we break down, there will be a lot of panic. And you all know the famous bubble chart, and it goes like this. So 3,000 is definitely into play. If we break down here, but let's just hope we don't. You know, we made a higher high here. The MACD made a higher high, so that's good. About to turn bullish here. So higher high, and so there is no divergence whatsoever that could confirm any invalidation of the higher low that we made here. Obviously, we still have to make a higher high, and the higher high will be above 11,600, something about that range. I would personally actually pick 11,750. So we made a higher low here. We have to come back up. Obviously, we have to break this resistance that's going on here. This will be rather difficult. And then we have to make a higher high in order to continue bull trend. Yes, that's correct. The MACD seems to be coming around, so that's obviously a bullish sign. So basically, that's it. That's it for now. So, altcoins. ETH is not very difficult. Obviously, we have a very large support going on here. And I think that basically Ethereum is going to follow the Bitcoin chart. So either we make a higher low here and continue up, or we are going to crash through support and get wrecked. Now, let's see if we have any divergence. Doesn't appear to be so. Obviously, the MACD, RSI is all looking good. So yeah, it's looking good for now, but it might turn bearish any moment. Let's pair it against Bitcoin. Let's see if there's anything going on here. Obviously, doesn't appear to be any proper support. You know, I could potentially draw this, but we need a proper trend line in order to make a channel. This would be the channel, but doesn't really make sense. Let's just remove this shit. So we're just going over to our Fibonacci levels. One thing concerns me. We haven't really touched the 236 level. And by 236 level, I mean this one, which is currently sitting at 0.053, something in that range. This is a great support. This support appears to be very strong. It has been tested a ton of times in the past, all the way back to the early 2017. So this appears to be still valid, and we might have to touch it in order to resume the bull trend. And how would this work? Bitcoin could go very bullish. This would cause ETH to go down in Bitcoin price. So paired against BTC, it would go down. But then if you pair it against USD, obviously because of the rise of Bitcoin, this support would still be intact. That's the best case scenario that I have in mind. Now onto EOS. It does not really get more beautiful than this. As you can see, here is our support. Did manage to break through, but once EOS did break through, it got like heavily rejected. Just a quick second, I need to check something. Okay, so it got heavily rejected and it just skyrocketed here. You know, let's see, this is a move of about 88%. So this really was a strong rejection of the support trend line. It was like going down, then nope, and it exploded. Obviously, we do have a very small resistance here. And this would make for a wedge. Where we are going to break out is really going to depend on what Bitcoin is going to do. I think EOS is just going to chill inside this wedge until the beginning of next month, something in that range. You know, our size pretty high. MACD just turned a little bit bearish. Is that a problem? No, I think it's just going to bounce here and eventually we will have to pick a side, up or down. Now, if we pair it against Bitcoin, kind of the same story. So we have our support. There you go. And, you know, in essence, this should be the trend line, the resistance, but this has only been tested 2 times. 1, 2, which does not make this a valid trend line. You know, you need at least 3 tests in order for it to be a valid trend line. So let's just remove this. Now, if we take our fib levels, there we go. We have just touched the 618 here. I think same story. It's really going to depend on what Bitcoin is going to do. And we could go 2 sides, which is up or down, obviously. So there's nothing to report about EOS now. I'm obviously holding my bags. I think EOS is like by far my biggest alt bag. That's because I started it like at $1.30, and then it was already a significant amount of money that I put into it. So, you know, for now, you just have to wait. Litecoin, on the other hand, is very, very clear. We are making an Uber wedge. This is one big fucking wedge. It's massive. And once we break out, I'm going to be super stubborn and I am going to stick to my target that is sitting at 440. Obviously, if it breaks up, Litecoin could also go to 530 because that's where the next extension should be. But if it breaks up, I am going to buy a ridiculous amount of Litecoins and just ride the waves. So this is looking pretty good. Not much else to report. Obviously, the RSI is continuing to make higher lows. Same for the MACD. And now we just have to wait. Small side note, this could turn bad. If Bitcoin goes bad, obviously this will go bad as well, which should bring it down to 95 USD. And of course, I can take a quick look at GRS. Side note, this is one of those charts, and I know GRS. This is one of those charts that don't really make sense. Why is that? I believe that a whale is just messing around here. Obviously, it's a tiny market cap coin, and there is not much sense to be made from this, other than there is support at about 5,000 sats, which is the price right now. There is no sense to be made from the highs and the lows. You know, there's just nothing that makes sense. Maybe this makes sense, but then again, actually it doesn't. And this is one of those classic whale charts. You know, just go to any kind of stock market, doesn't matter. You will never see a chart like this. This is not a natural chart. This is a painting painted by a painter who is a whale and messing around with the price. You know, so that, you know, I could do TA here, but my TA wouldn't matter because this dude is just going to do whatever he wants. You know, doesn't matter what I put on here. Same here, ZEC. You know, I always tell everyone stay away from this shit. Just look at this chart. This doesn't make any sense here. No supports, no nothing. So, you know, sucks, but that's just the way it is. Now, something I'm super excited about is Lux. You know, I was trying to draw, um, you know, trend lines, but nothing made sense. And then I was like, hey, what if I put it on log? So I put it on the log scale, and what do you know? Suddenly we have something that makes total sense. This is the resistance, the downward trend line. Here are the Fibonacci levels. Let me just draw this out. There. Now, we're going to be really creative here. Sometimes you have to be. Going to remove the log scale. And this should be our trend line. So as you can see, currently we are below the last fib. This is not really a problem because we have a accumulation zone that is going on right here. Let me just show you. There and there. This is the current accumulation zone that I'm confident Lux will not break unless, you know, something happens, the dev dies or whatever. But this is the accumulation zone that I believe is going to be the bottom for Lux. I'm a really big Lux fan. FA wise, it's great. You know, the devs are great. They're not always on time with stuff, but then again, they are not just creating. You know, this isn't an ERC20 coin. This is an actual smart contract platform. So what they are doing is much more difficult than what most other projects are trying to do. So, you know, I'm giving this until the end of the year. By then, I want to see parabolic parabola, which I hope will take us, you know, to the moon, something like 0.02, 0.01, something like that. You know, by then I will be very happy. If not, then still into profit, so it doesn't really matter. Mhm. Of course, I was just thinking, like, what else should I do? Let's see. There. Sia is something that I'm really into right now. There was a huge descending wedge. So I put some Sia coins in my bag and we broke out. We actually broke out. Profit right now should be around what 125, 145, 30%. Obviously, there has to be a retest here. There hasn't really been a retest of the broken trend line. Doesn't mean that it will happen, but I think it's very likely that it will happen. So it should come down a bit. And if it's going to retest, I think it should come down to about 135 or 128, something like that. And then it should have some room to start making moves. And my target for this is about 200 Satoshis. Nothing too crazy. Just a nice 2x. And I think you don't want to have to ask for more in a bear market. You know, if we were in a bull market, my target would definitely be 300, but sadly, that's obviously not the case. So I'll just leave my target there. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers it. I'm not doing any other altcoins, mostly because this is where the mind should be. This is where the future is going to be decided. The next couple of weeks will be very, very important. I hope to see a bullish breakout, everyone. If not, we will very likely start introducing stocks into Cryptocampus because you gotta do something. And I will try to find a good broker for everyone to use, and that's the direction we are going in if we go into a massive year-long bear market. Some updates on BrickX, and then I will conclude this live stream because this has been going on for quite a while now. We are actively working for partnerships at the moment. We are reaping in a lot of partnerships soon to be announced, some of which will be very big. You will probably know some of these guys that we are partnering with. And I hope, that you guys will be happy. Some things that we are working on right now is we are making a deal with a marketing partner, which is going to do a massive, massive marketing for BrickX. This party has over 100 employees. It's a very big business, and they will help us get this off the ground, obviously. We did start on Twitter and Facebook. Nothing crazy yet, because we really want to start slow and build it up over time. But we aim to have a couple thousand followers by next month, and then in the end we want to have at least 100K followers. The website hasn't changed a lot. There are some minor changes. Some members got added to the team. Just scroll through this yourself if you want. You can read it. And obviously, if you haven't done so yet, please follow BrickX.io on Twitter. Join the BrickX Discord. Be active. Try to tell everyone about BrickX. And this way we will start building the community. So, thanks all for watching. And, let's hope we take the bullish road. Have a great day.